Grow into your true divine nature. April 26, 2015. My dearest ones. First of all, it is my wish that you feel my love, my all-embracing love, my sweet love. But also feel my love that desires to see you grow and that is therefore demanding. When you feel my nurturing love, you are able to fulfill my demands for growth. And what do I mean by growth? Growth is your to me responsive process that is self-forgetfully reuniting with me, your very source condition, me, the brightness of existence itself, the primordial radiance of love bliss, from which you have separated yourself, by assuming to be a limited body-mind, gross, subtle, and causal. Just the fact that you identify with the confined entity, even if sublime, turns you into a separate being that is not surrendered to its source. Please understand that true divine reality is neither merely inside nor merely outside of you. Me, divine reality, just is, and it is all beings and things, or rather all of that is arising in me. You are that. If you make statements as a separate body-mind, even if you are a saint, such as, God is in me, you make a mistake, because you are in me. But my divine reality cannot be contained or imprisoned in a finite body-mind, although your feeling heart is able to feel me. My divine reality is all-pervading, and you might feel a spark of my all-pervasiveness in your body-mind and separate heart, but I am consciousness, infinite, eternal, the deep space of radiant divine consciousness, and I cannot be just compressed into a little heart of yours, so that your little separateness might appear to be divinely all-powerful, complete, and most perfect. Rather, in order to relate to me, you must go beyond your upon itself contracted body-mind, to truly commune with me and ultimately to be one with me again. The body-mind is just a shape to experience what you wish to experience in your own enlightenment, which is rather always an experience of suffering. I am infinitely free of all your small businesses of separation and little joys and excitements, trying to make sense of a limited world. And do not think even that living in a more subtle world later, where you assume to go when you ascend, that there is no suffering. There is, even if more subtle. Necessarily, because you presume separation and therefore you are seeking for fulfillment, which always fails. All who experience limitation and separation from me by identifying with a separate body-mind, even in the causal domain, are suffering in the one or other way. Only in me exists absolute and indestructible beauty of vast freedom of any kind of suffering, because I am the source, the true happiness of your innate divine state. Everything else is a modification of me and thereby a limitation, and is not living as my fullest source energy and light. My divine force cannot even exist fully in a separate body-mind. And so you tend to be content with some cosmic energies, which you imagine to be fully divine and perfect as me. This is an illusion, and you seem to prefer to delude yourself in order to glorify your separation from me, not to have to give up what you cherish as little and precious me. Most of my children choose to walk this path of self-deception, far from knowing me, not in your mind of course, but with your full feeling surrender into my source condition. Your heart fully open to me, your very source and own true nature. My divine source light and energy is not what cosmic light and energy is, even if your brothers and sisters from the cosmic domain, that is surrounding your planet, are telling you so. Many of them are supposed to be advanced beings, yes, some might be advanced as separate body-minds, but they are not necessarily advanced in their surrender to me. Surrender to me can happen in any domain of the universe, and it does not matter in which dimension you exist. You can always surrender to me and unite with me, and realize what I am, wherever you happen to be. Because I am radiant source and all belong to me. There is no exception. Only you, in your separateness, have invented the hierarchical orders of presuming closeness to me. To be ascended does not necessarily mean that you are closer to me. You are close to me when you transcend separation from me. Even love is widely misunderstood, because if it is understood as something you do, as a separate being, instead of something you are, you diminish love to something conditional. whereas in my domain, love is always unconditional and a subjective force that cannot be objectified or divided or given. Because it is. If you are love, then this divine power works in miraculous ways. There is no separate being that can contain love, and as such distribute it to others. Again, this is a gross error, because one must participate in love, one must surrender to love, be love, rather than perceiving love as an object. This is all about realizing the unity and oneness of my existence. You, in your separateness, live from a separate point of view that divides existence into separate units. And that's the way you understand yourself and life. As such, you can never know me, even with your feeling heart, but which I myself expand into my infinity. Living such divided, you necessarily live a life of darkness, although you might perceive it as light. But this light is cosmic light, it is the light of mind. It appears from my sight to be black, because I am source, one and only, and what separates itself from me is necessarily without my light of self-radiant origin. I am telling you all of this, so that you might choose to truly grow into me, relieved of delusional perceptions which do not serve your understanding of me. You do not need first to ascend, or to travel the universe and reside on an advanced planet, to grow towards me, to open up towards me, to let me truly enter your being, to expand your consciousness into my divine consciousness, so that you start to know by direct experience who I truly am. To ascend means to refine solely your body-mind. But all that occurs still in the fields and dimensions that are arising in me as separate domains. Although I myself am not separate from them. To grow with me is done naturally only with me from the beginning, now and now and now, prior to time and space. I am the one to grow your body-mind to open up to me, so that you forget it in me. I am not encapsulated in what you call I. The I is the one that has separated itself from me. The presumption of the small I is a point with a circle around it, that is all. This circle is the line of separation from me. Your true I is me. The circle around your true I is a circle of infinity and transcends any form, shape, and conceivable idea. It merely is, beyond dimensions, form, and thereby thought. It is sheer divine consciousness. My demand to grow into your true divine nature is compassionate as I see you suffer. And I must demand in order to wake you up from your deep sleep. There is no entity that wants to suffer, but the mind holds you in a self-made prison that presumes safety and self-contained and therefore pale happiness. My happiness is undisturbed, free and self-radiant. No struggle, no pain, no error. It is not small or big either. No darkness. No division, but I live in you in your unique expression of me. Whole, satisfied, being love and eternity. Will you choose me? I am your God Self. Channeled by posegga-rudel. Radiantlyhappy.blogspot.com